So Grant Cardone invited me to his headquarters in Florida. Yes, the Grant Cardone, who has over $4 billion assets under management, has $100 million coming in through his companies every single year. And like him or hate him, he still generates billions of views every single year. So why did he invite me? Well, he wanted to know from me, as well as some top internet marketers, how are we generating tens of millions of dollars every single year? Well, I've got that $50 million trophy to prove it. And Grant, being so savvy, and honestly, after meeting him in person, I think he's an incredibly smart guy as well. And we told him what we do. But today in this video, I'm going to share exactly what I learned from Grant Cardone and how he helped propel my career into making so much more money than I ever thought possible. Okay. So the first thing I learned from Grant Cardone was this mindset. This mindset changed the way I operated, and it made me so much hungrier, right? Money loves enthusiasm and money loves urgency, right? And money loves urgency. So how do you manufacture urgency in your life? When you start making some money. So this is what Grant does. And I got to give this guy some credit. He said, my superpower is the ability to stay broke. Wow. Well, what happens usually when entrepreneurs make money? They have some nest egg sitting, and because they have some money sitting on the side, they start taking life very easily, and then they plateau and they never make more money. And for some people, that's making 10 grand a month. For some people, it's making 20 grand a month. For some people, it's making $1 million a year. But Grant makes a chunk of cash. He just puts it aside and he puts it into long-term assets, into properties, money he cannot touch. And when he doesn't have cash available, guess what happens? It creates urgency to make more money. And so that's what Grant says. He's like, my superpower is the ability to stay broke. I just put money away, get broke, and feel broke, and make money again, and then again put money away and get broke and feel broke. And everything that's been great in my life, this is what he said, right? Everything that's been great in my life has been after I left somewhere I was comfortable. So being comfortable is the enemy of greatness. And Grant just followed this cycle. And I started implementing that as well. And to this day, that helps me. Why do you think I am making YouTube videos? Because I am hungry. Because I've put my money aside into long-term assets so that I can focus on production. Me, and for those of you guys watching as well, this is a complete shift. Because when I first started out, I was just all about paid advertisement, and I still am about paid ads. I think paid ads, if you actually know how to use it, you can make so much money, right? If you're in the top 0.001% of paid advertisement, you can get $2 for the price of $1. You have literally created a money making machine, right? You put $1 in and it spits out $2 after 30 days. How often would you do that? As much as I want, right? I'm going to dump $1 million so I can make $2 million. I would dump $10 million so I can make $20 million. So that's what paid ads can do. However, today we live in the attention economy. And so Grant shared this screenshot and of how much money his companies make and how much Google Trends, how many people look him up. So as you can see, it's fairly consistent here. There is a correlation here and maybe a causation as well, right? The more attention he got, the more money he made. So back in 2010, when not many people were looking up his name, he was making about $5-6 million a year. And towards the end of 2021, when this happened, is when we met him, me and some of the top most marketers, internet entrepreneurs. He was doing about 100 million, right? So money follows attention. His income just blew up. You could see in 2016, and 2016 is when he just started like going parabolic as well. So money follows attention. Now, he also said, but you don't always have money with attention, right? There's a lot of these broke YouTubers, broke Instagrammers, broke TikTokers that are getting a lot of cheap views, but they're not able to monetize it. So what he does is he always tries to monetize his offer. Like he said, I think it's spiritually vital for the connection of the relationship for him to monetize my offer. And it does for him two things. It provides an internal feedback that all this time I'm investing towards creating attention is also being monetized. So when you put offers, right, the more offers you make, the more money you make, right? As long as there's a product market fit, you'll monetize it. And so when you create attention, you should put forward an offer so that you can see, does my audience actually connect with my offer or not? You know, I've been creating YouTube videos for a few months now. I haven't put out any offer yet. And I think eventually I will have a book, I will have an offer. And I found it very challenging because in the past, I've always put offers and almost created no attention. So this is a new exercise for me. So if you're watching this as well, this is a very good practice to put out some offers so that you can always create a straight line between your attention and your monetization. And if you're not getting monetization, you're not getting enough energy. Money is simply vote from people saying that whatever you're doing is actually valuable, that I'm willing to part money with. Otherwise, you're just a cheap entertainer, in an expensive entertainer. And if people are not willing to pay you for your education or entertainment, then you're missing the mark in some way. So that was a great advice from Grant Cardone as well. Going back to money, this one is pretty game-changing as well. A lot of us make this mistake. We start thinking about how to manage our investments, right? So Grant's money strategy is he takes his earned income, invests all his earned income, doesn't spend any of it, and only buys a Gucci belt with passive income, right? The yacht trip he was talking about, like a family trip he went on, a yacht trip, was paid for with passive income, not earned income. Okay, so focus on creating earned income until passive income exceeds it. And even then, go back into earned income if that's what you really enjoy. So don't think about your 401k or your S&P investment. Don't invest too much time. I know too many people that have invested so much time trying to manage their money as opposed to just earning more money. Put it aside. And another one he had said was, you have to be a maniac as a marketer, right? You're doing so many activities, but you have to be super disciplined as an investor. So as an investor, you may not find the right investment for a couple of years, or if you're looking for like a big hyperbolic investment, whereas you can just put it in property, or you can just put that investment away in long-term funds, and you know you're going to get your 8% return, but you're super disciplined. You're not trying to get rich overnight with the money that you invest. So however, as a marketer or as an entrepreneur, you have to put in a lot of activity every single day to make sure this thing pops. So you need to have like two personalities. Rule number one of money is don't lose money. And as an entrepreneur, you use money to either invest in yourself or you use money to make bets within the business. So it's completely different types of thinking when you think about creating generational wealth versus creating and growing your earned income. This next one will completely change the way you go about trying new things. He says quality comes through quantities. So take, for example, if you're creating content and if you try to create the perfect video every single time, you're not going to get there. Whereas if you just put enough quantity out, you're going to get better with every single iteration. That's been the case with me. My first couple of videos, I didn't listen to this advice. And if you go down my YouTube channel, my first videos were super highly produced. I was investing $4,000 or $5,000 in editing, scripting, all these things in my videos. And I wasn't even like reaching the right audience. Whereas my more recent videos, you know, I'm putting out quantity and I'm getting better with every single iteration. And I've found the same to be true when you do sales, when you do marketing, when you're putting out ads, for instance, right? When you're running ads online, you have to test 10 different different hooks to find the one ad that works really well. And it's the same way with anything that you do. And that's why there's people that start a new business. Well, you fail 4 times before you have a big win, because every launch you're learning something new. So quality only comes through quantities. And a lot of us should think about putting more quantity as opposed to just being perfect with every single thing we do. Now, since we just talked about content, Grant said one thing that I still deploy. He said that advice alone about ads that Grant Cardone said ended up making me millions of dollars, because I didn't get stuck with just one ad. I created 10 different hooks and to find the winner, and just that one piece of advice turned into hundreds of millions of sales. So that one piece of advice about quality is found in the quantities can be found in so many different ways. Now, since we're talking about platforms as well, we're talking about iterations. There's so many different platforms you can create content on. And this might be a little nuanced, but what Grant said is, for him, you can take away my TikTok, you can take away my Instagram, you can take away my LinkedIn, my Facebook, just leave me with my damn YouTube channel and I'll be just fine. So on platform, if you're thinking about being on a platform, whether it is for advertising or whether it is for organic content, YouTube is the king. This is where people pay the most attention for an extended period of time, and you attract people that have longer attention spans, and usually attention follows money, right? So the longer the attention span someone has, the more likely it is that they have long enough attention spans to do something valuable with their life. They have more money, they have more focus. And so Grant also just loved his YouTube channel. Now, with Grant, one of the things I really appreciated was, how long he's been in the game and he hasn't really burnt out. So what he said about that was he loved being just in his zone of genius, only doing things he's great at. And if there's bad news, no one brings bad news, because fixing things isn't his problem. It's his CEO's job. My only job is income generation. And well, his words exactly were, my job is promote. And in terms of delegation, my job is just promote. When he said that, I saw his focus was on that. And that's why, he is who he is. When it comes to delegation then, right? If the main owner of the company is just focused on promotion, well, someone has to run everything else. And so he said, well, I trade my garbage money for people. He called money garbage because money is literally just getting devalued every single day. And so he doesn't like holding on to money. He wants that money to either be in the form of assets, or he wants that money to be invested into great people. And when it comes to great people, I found that, you can try to get cheap and get someone for $50,000 and they might produce $100,000 worth of value. But if you actually invest $150,000 into a great person, you might end up with not a 2 times multiplier like it is for the $50,000 person. You'll end up with a 10x multiplier. Your $150,000 is actually $1.5 million worth of value that you have created. So that's how you think about hiring the right people. On targets, never compromise. So have a target every single quarter and get super clear on it so the team could follow your lead. And when you have clear targets, don't compromise on targets. Just increase the activity, never drop the target. It's a crazy trajectory over time for a company to do something like this. Now, being someone who has had a company for multiple years, this is crazy. Just to see the dip, like there's actually almost no dips here. That is great advice coming from someone who's actually done some great work here. Increase the activity, never compromise on the target. The last thing is, a lot of people might love or hate Cardone or even Andrew Tate, for example. And it was fascinating to see how he thought about Tate. He said, if 50% of the population doesn't like you or your message, then you've made it. So the reason why some people don't like Grant Cardone is because he has literally engineered that. When I met him in person, he's actually a very cool guy, very intelligent guy as well. Completely different as he appears on social media. But that's how social media is. You have to polarize people. And that's something I can get better at. And think about that in in your marketing as well and in your branding as well? How can you polarize people more? Because the half of the people that hate you, they're still talking about you, but that also means the other half really loves you and they're also talking about you. So those were some of the lessons from Grant Cardone that generated so much money for me and will for years to come. And hope you enjoyed it. And this does the same thing for you as well. Take care.